Hello, everyone. I'm Rob Smith with Smith of the Black here at CP Group with the Strat Time report, and the future's still snoozing. We had an inside day yesterday here in SPY. Today we poked up by a millicent on it. 2 days still stuck into here, and you can see when you get to a Thursday and you still see these doji weakers, you know we're not doing much. And so it's still the beginning of the month, so we're just hemming and hawing back and forth to see what they really want to do. If we go to the QQQ, finally gets out of this range. New highs for the Qs, right? So you finally got out of there and then just kind of stalls out. Now you're inside on the 60, right? We're always minding these 60s. So either side of this, are we going to continue and go into new highs, or are we just going to poke up a little bit this range and come back in? Right now, inside on the 60s, QQQ. Go to the Dow Jones Diamonds. Here, just slightly, you take that out. To the tick, still an inside day, and once again, doji on the week, doing nothing. If you go to small cappers, and small cappers still stuck in here, doji week, doji month, nowhere near taking that out. Did have a nice little move in the morning, but that's it for that. One of the things that I talk about especially for newer folks, and some people choose to just stay on this and do this for their career, and that's fine. As look at the gap list that I tweet out in the morning, and just watch the 30s and the 60s, right? And that's all you got to do. And so you'll hear me talk about exhaustion. And so if you go to Roku, so Roku did what it was supposed to do, right? So here we're looking for this in Strat Time on Tuesday. The outside week, the poke up, the fail, the 3, 2, 2, and these two become an outside bar of that, right? And so the thing is, and be like, all right, when you're down here, right, all right, Rob, maybe it's going to keep dropping like a rock and maybe take that month. Could, but one of the things you got to remember, when you have a big gap like this, that might be it. And the sellers might be done. They've been selling this thing pretty hard all the way down, and that might be the dump. So the 60 is a major signal, and so one of the things you can look for here on the gap down. So this is a 2 down because it's lower than that, right? But it's green. But then you go inside on the 60. So this is a 2, 1, 2 reversal on the 60, still working over 400.68, and there's $9 and still going so far. If you go to FSLY, and once again we have that inside month to the downside. We're still aware of that, right? But once you have this gap, these sellers might be done, all right? And so here you get that 60 down by taking out the previous low, but green, 2-2 reversal here, FSLY, over 35.99, trading 39.13. There's two nice trades, and not that hard to do. Right? It's not that hard to do. So be aware of that. So what they are doing today is they're rotating back into pandemic names. So they've been weak, but you're still at the beginning of the month where you're trying to figure out what's really going to happen. So you can see like Wynn Resorts here, now inside on the 60, and on the daily here, 2 down, 2 back up here. When I took this out over 95.58, trade 98.34, and now inside in the 60, and that tells you your LVS here doing the same. And going down here, all the pandemic names, RCL here, and you see that 2-2 reversal. And so what you're seeing here is like, now that we have like a subgroup that since the pandemic of companies that are in industries that are going to be affected by it. So what you're seeing is a simultaneous break back to the upside on these things. CC, all the pandemic names have buy signals on the daily going back the other way. If you go to EXPE, how's that doing? There you go. 2 down by taking out the lows, 2-2. So they're all doing that. That's something I'd want to know about, right? That tells me they're rotating back into these things, or at least they're covering their shorts in them. If we go to the airlines, American Airlines, inside day to the upside, and then you have all the airlines. United here, slightly 2-2. How's Delta? Slightly 2-2 back up. So they're trying to rotate back into them. But in general, you can see like in the monthly, as the month goes on, we want to continually find things that have long red and green bars, right? Right now, there's just a bunch of things going back and forth. If you go to SQ, there you go. There's a little better. See that? SQ, we were looking to take this out, right? We were 283.18, right? Did it. And how did we do that? We went an inside week, to the upside. RevStrat day. Inside bar, pokes down, boom. RevStrat stops all these guys out and takes them right into the all-time highs. Now stalls out like a lot of things inside 60. If we go to ASTR, and ASTR, little guy coming out of the ashes now inside on the 60. And the good thing about when you have like something that's moving this much, like 850 to 1150, one of the things you can do is you can trade around it and say, okay, if this goes 212 on the 30, I can take some off, or I can reverse and get short and then look for another buy signal, right? If you got it down in here somewhere. If you go to CRM, and CRM having a nice day here, trying to set up the RevStrat week inside, but then it turns green here. So if it's going to be an outside week, that's what it would look like. And if it doesn't make it, next week sets up for the potential RevStrat continuation there. If we go to SPG REIT, and SPG inside week to the upside, coming back through previous range. And if that works, you see this here in the monthly down here, the 2 up, the 2 down. That reversal's over 132.89. You're there right now on the month. So starting to fade here a little bit on the 30. And keep an eye on those 30s and 60s. See if they set up again. You got a 2-2 reversal on the 60. We'll see if that sets back up. I see Peloton hitting the highs here. Pretty tight range. Just goes outside day. No big deal there, but that's more pandemic type stuff. If we go to IBB, and IBB having a few nice days here in a row. The Momo Hammer week coming up here, trying to go at all-time highs. You got stuff in there. Sarepta having a nice day. Needs to set up. Been a little fast. See now in the 2 reversal month. 2 down, stop all these guys out, and then 2 back up over 78.53. You're there right now. So for the rest of the month, that level is going to be important for Sarepta. If you go to NTLA, and NTLA also was having a nice day. Stalls out, now going inside in the 60. 2-1-2 back down. Still inside month, but you can see this is what we're looking for here. This hammer 2-2 reversal to come take all these guys out, which it does, because you got the mother bar problem. How are you going to get outside of this? So it did what it was supposed to do by take that out, and then comes back in, so be aware of that. If we go to Disney, and Disney on the inside day back to the upside, right here. So it was going shooter down, right? Now just coming back up, like I said, a lot of things still inside month and going back and forth. But that's why we watch these signals, 2, 1, 2, because you had that coming back up in Visa and MA to a certain extent here. MA coming back in. If you go to NVAX, and NVAX, taking out those monthly highs into here, the 2 up, 2 down on the week, still good, and off she goes. Then you get yourself another inside 60 right here. See if that sets up again. If we go to IGMS, and IGMS, the outside 3, outside day, inside day, and boom, right back up. 3-1-2 Chicago setup. We'll look for that. So you get back up into the gap now. You just want to stay up in there, and we'll see how that goes. If you go to Uber, and Uber goes outside day and then comes back in a little bit. We'll see if we're going to set up the hammer for the week. That would be nice. You can see last month's inside month to the downside. Now you have your outside day, so you just want to be aware of that and see if that sets up again off the 60. Some people will also choose to keep an eye on the gap list for more than one day. So yesterday ZY gaps and does nothing, and now there's your two reversal on the daily and having a nice percentage comeback there in the ZY. If you go to STAA, and Star Surgical now inside in the 60. You're going to see if we can get that continuation above 154.94. You're there right now, because on that monthly, that's a 2 up, 2 down right here over 153.68. You're there right now, and there's a nice 2-2 reversal on the week. Still have a little bit more of these guys to go after up into here. If we go to Beam, and Beam still handling inside month, but you can see this RevStrat week. Inside bar, pokes down, boom, off she goes, having a nice little day there, Beam. If we go to Penn Gaming, Looks like sports betting's back on. It's been having a rough slide here, but now going back green on the month on this move. And you can take this on the 60 if you're watching this. The outside bar, boom. This selling rejection is still getting rejected as so long as this thing keeps making higher highs, you see. If we go to, well, who's been real strong is AMD. Finally giving up the goose a little bit here, so 2-2 reversal on the day. Not the end of the world for this thing to cool off like that, but we'll see. Now that you have your corrective activity, you can see if that sets up again for us to go back up. If there's one discernible group that was getting hit here at XLV, and there's your shooter day, 2 up, 2 down, right? And that was because of Cigna. You see Cigna now fighting back a little bit into here, but that brought them all down. We knew Humana was already weaker with the XLV going up. Humana's been going down. Now you have an inside 60. We'll see if that goes down. It also triggers that monthly 2 up, 2 down for Humana. So we know Humana was going to be the laggard, and we got a little bit more out of it. That's good. If you go to Centene, and you can see this, it's getting lumped. It's like an outside month, 3-2 to the downside, but now consolidating like a lot of things on the 60s. We'll see. And we go to the big boy UNH. And UNH, nice little 2 up, 2 down, boom, down she goes. All right, that was real nice. If we go to ANTM, 2 up, 2 down, back through previous range like that, looking for an outside weaker and maybe 2-2-monther on this one too. Trying to take the inside 60 to the downside right now. Cardinal Health. Cardinal Health on the 60 trying to drop off here. Nice 3-2-2 week. Outside bar, 2, boom. We're going to take that out. If we're lucky, keeps going because you got this month. Inside month to the downside here. Cardinal Health. Another UHS. And UHS going to take this week here, right? There's a 2 up, 2 down week. And right now trying to go inside in the 60 and down. You see back through this previous range. Keep an eye on these future. Still drying up. SPY backing off a little bit. Another thing that we look for too is when you know IBB is strong, who's weak? Jazz Farm weak again. Still puking from yesterday, and you can just see this grindy Grinderson taking it down. But certainly, if you're long that, you got the Qs and you got the IBB strong or relatively, but you're going down. Yep. Dump time. If we go to EA, big outside day in general, stuck, but here you got this inside month now to the downside, and it slightly took it out, and then boom, 2 goes 3 to the downside, having problems, and that tells you to look at TTWO. How you doing, buddy? 2 down, 2 up, 2 down, boom, back to the lows with you on the 60. ATVI. Here as well, so this gamers having some problems here, and so so that could be like the also the opening up where we're rotating into the pandemics and we're not staying home and playing games anymore. All right, if we go to FMC from yesterday, and FMC, we knew about this yesterday, and now still having problems and dumping red on all time frames, and that's something you'd want to look for on the short side. If we go to AMED, just a big gapper down, but holding its gap down, so we'll see how that goes. Just a little grindy. If we go to CENX, and dropping off a cliff she is, outside weaker, looking for an outside month at this point. Inside on the 60, we'll see if it breaks through there. If we go to INGN, and INGN here, you can see this potential rev strat 60. If they can get back below this, inside pokes up, boom, below here, 54.64, and pop back up on that. So we'll see. It's been lower in here, so we'll see if they really want to clock this thing. But each day as we get through, as we begin this new month, we're going to try and find the nice long red and green bars. Otherwise, you get this back and forth, and we want to see if the Qs can now finally stay out of this range up into the highs. Watching, always minding the 60. All right, that's going to do it for today. I'm Rob Smith. It's Smith in the Black. Strat Time Report.